President Trump says he is directing the government to release any files related to aliens and UFOs. President Trump posted on Truth Social last night saying he's doing so, quote, based on the tremendous interest shown. That announcement comes days after former President Barack Obama made some headlines for comments made on a podcast where he said he believed aliens are real. President Trump later criticized the former president for sharing what he called classified information. President Trump says he is directing the government to...
So we'll start with this clip.
Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, the president can declassify anything that he wants to, so if you want to make an announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal aliens are real.
Yeah, illegal. Only illegals. What?
Shortly after that, he said this: based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP, and unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. Is this a nothing burger, or is this it? Now, based on Mr. Trump's track record thus far, if you're going to test this man on his resolve and think that he won't take action, you'd be sorely mistaken. I would argue this is the most prolific leader of the United States we've seen in a very long time, and is enacting upon what he says, whether it's controversial or not, quite effectively at the moment, as we're about to see with Iran again. So if there's any form of executive signing here, and he reads, you know what he's like with his ego, if there's any pushback from the bureaucrats, the long-term people that have been hiding this for 80 years, he's going to push even harder. He's not going to have that, because he's not going to allow that. So this is going to be very interesting either way, and if he gets stonewalled, then we're probably going to find out about it, because you know what he's like.
Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the Great Millstone who the rule and teach well. Peace and blessing salutations, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, to the hopefully elect. So here we go with the devil, with more of his antics. All right, more psyops, more distractions to take away from the more pressing things that are at hand. You know, so being that all these Epstein files are coming out, you know, the powers that be, the elites are getting exposed for eating babies and, you know, sacrificing to Baal and worshiping Baal, you know, and drinking blood and the aid to the chrome, and just all this wickedness that they doing. You know, Trump's name is in the files, which, you know, to speak on the Epstein files, man, it goes hand in hand with this right here, with the declassification of these so-called UFO, UAP files, which we know that, you know, what they call UFOs, that these are the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You know, those are the vehicles of the angels, you know, the means of our salvation and of the heathen's destruction. But this goes hand in hand with that, because for years, you know, they told you that anybody that believed in, you know, UFOs or aliens or whatever, that you was a quack, you know, that you were, you know, bugged out, you know, you weren't to be taken seriously, you know what I'm saying? And they denied knowing anything about this, right? Same thing with these Epstein files, man. Like, the fact that now they you know, they're dropping the Epstein files on people, they've been known that these things were going on, right? The fact that they have the files to release to you, you know, proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that these devils are complicit with all the wickedness that's been going on to these children in these underground, you know, child trafficking rings and everything like that. All right, so they've been lying to the people for years and denying any involvement or any knowledge of these things. Meanwhile, they have the documents. You see, same thing with the, so-called UFOs, man. They've known all along, but they've told you, that there's nothing to see here, pretty much. Now you have Trump, which we'll get into an article because brothers went into this a few weeks ago, back in January. But the fact that now Trump is about to declassify these documents, this is a huge red flag, because what this means is that they about to set something in motion. And the fact that, again, the Epstein files are coming out, this war with Iran and Russia and all this type of stuff, they need another psyop. They need a distraction, to take your mind off of these things. And see, when it comes to social media, X and these different platforms, right, where, it's pretty much the elites control all these platforms any damn way. So they have all the data and information that they need to have on the people. But one thing that they know is that, there's been an increase in, UFO so-called sightings, and that people are talking on social media. You know what I'm saying? People are talking about aliens and this and that, and aliens are real, and uploading, footage or whatever. So being that everybody is pretty much aware of this phenomenon, now Esau, he wants to let the cat out the bag, because ultimately there's too much evidence to deny, okay, that this phenomenon is actually happening. All right, so Esau now, this is his attempt to control the narrative. All right, you see, that's all that this is, man, to control the narrative, to distract, and ultimately so they can, set up the collapse of this whole system. You see, so they got the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, to release the files on the so-called extraterrestrial. You know what I'm saying? And they saying this can happen February 20th, which is Slovakia. They saying that this could happen by before the end of the month. We'll see what happens, but yeah, this is what these devils are on. You see, and they believe this is gonna shake people up, which it will. But again, people already know. So all they're gonna do is confirm that these leaders, that they're liars, man. You see, every move that Esau makes is working against them. All right, because Esau wants to call himself releasing files and this and that, but all you're doing is exposing yourself as a damn fraud, because all you're doing is showing the people that you've always known about these things, but you didn't do nothing about it. All right, so this is going to cause people to trust in the government less, and this is what they want, because ultimately we know that they want a civil war. They want sedition in America, Babylon the Great. So the more dirt that they continue to put out there, on what's going on at the top, that's going to anger people more. That's going to have people to resent the government more. Okay, which is why, they have the AI and the robots, to take over, because they're going to say, well, human beings are corrupt. You can't trust people because this is what all was going on. Now we're going to put AI and robots in. This is a much better way, because, as they'll tell you, you won't have all this corruption. Okay, which these devils are not going to stop doing what they do. All right, they're just going to fade to the background, and they're going to put AI and robots to the front, but they still going to be doing what they do. You see? But yeah, man, this is nothing more than the next big distraction, okay, to take people's minds off of all what's going on in the world. But the hopefully elect are watching, the watchmen is set up, paying attention to these things intently, you know what I'm saying? Because we know we in a time where Esau, he's making major moves behind the scenes, so you got to watch this devil.
Like he's going to run straight to his Twitter account, X account, sorry, and tell us all about it. So let's keep our ears to the ground on this. This is very, very interesting as a development. A lot of people have been saying this has been coming up, and now look what we have. We've got POTUS in office right now saying he's basically going to get the Secretary of War to release all relevant information regarding UAP, which is pretty incredible. What an incredible time we're living in. What an incredible time we're living in. Guys, savor this moment, sorry. This is quite something. So let's see how this pans out. I'll be going live now as well to talk about this more. Leave your comments in the box below. And if you're not in tune with what's going on in the UAP, follow my channel, share what I do, because at the moment the algorithm on TikTok is not helping at all. So yeah, I've been doing this for a few years now. So those of you that are new, that are coming on my page for the first time, I'm Daniel Knightley. This is Nightly Disclosure, and we only...
All right, so let's get this article right here, right? Now this is an article that came out last month, right? And it reads, the title is this: Bank of England must plan for financial crisis triggered by aliens, says former policy expert. All right, and brothers went into this when this article dropped a few weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So this is one thing that, we let you Akim and Aquad know to look out for, man, because, these devils got a lot going on. But as it says here in this article, the UK must plan for a financial crisis that will be triggered if the U.S. government announces that aliens exist. You see, so notice that they talking about the UK, okay, which this Western financial system is really run by the UK, okay? Just because America got the world reserve currency, man, it's really the Bank of England that really run this thing. You know what I'm saying? That's like the primary bank, you know what I'm saying, that these Edomites use. You know what I'm saying? But notice how they say if the U.S. government announces that aliens exist. So this is going to come from whoever's in the White House. And right now, Trump is in the White House. You know what I'm saying? And as we just saw, he's preparing to release the so-called evidence of the existence of aliens, UFOs, UAPs, right? Helen McCall, who served as a senior analyst in financial security at the UK Central Bank, has written to Andrew Bailey, the Bank of England's governor, urging him to set out contingencies in case the White House ever confirms the existence of alien life, according to the Times. Ms. McCall, who worked for the Bank of England for 10 years until 2012, said politicians and bankers can no longer afford to dismiss talk of alien life, and warned a declaration of this could trigger bank collapses. You see? So this is what's getting ready to happen. And we've been seeing what's been happening since the start of this year. Gold and silver, the markets, going down, just all this madness with the finances. And that's because they're getting ready to bring in this, stable coin. They're getting ready to bring in the chip ultimately. All right. So this is going to be a reason for them to collapse this thing. And this collapse is right around the corner, man. This thing is not going to take years. Like, these devils already got the infrastructure set up. And, they already ready for the new system to be up and running. So they just need something like this to be able to bring it in. Right? So as they said, a declaration of this nature could trigger bank collapses. Right? She reportedly said the U.S. government appears to be partway through a multi-year process to declassify and disclose information on the existence of a technologically advanced non-human intelligence responsible for UAPs. And see, that's the narrative that Esau going to spin. Because this man's the devil, all right? He going to push you the narrative that we dealing with, big head, some big head, little body people from Mars or some faraway galaxy or something. You know what I'm saying? With big black almond eyes, and they got telepathic power. You know what I'm saying? That, like, that's the madness that Esau has pushed to the people for years, but he knows the truth. Okay, we've put out the videos to where we've showed you these Edomite scientists, to where they describe what they saw in these so-called UAPs. All right, and what they saw were 7 to 8 foot tall, so-called black men with afros and super buff. Okay, that's what them Edomite scientists saw in them ships, man. And brothers got the videos uploaded to that. Okay, I might have to re-upload one of those. You know what I'm saying? Because it's good to bring these things out from time to time. But these devils already know what's going on. All right, and that's again Esau trying to control the narrative. You see, He wants to be the one to give you the information so he can be as God. Okay, yeah, well, y'all might know that there's aliens, but see, I'm going to tell you the real truth, okay, which is a goddamn lie. See? So that's the narrative he going to spin, and most people, they going to buy into it, man, because they so bugged out from watching, I remember there was a show on History Channel back in the days called Ancient Aliens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to watch it, and that's kind of what got me, sparked, to learn more about, that type of stuff and what's going on. And eventually when I came into the truth, it all made sense, but the way Esau tried to spin the narrative, if you don't have the facts right, then you'll get bugged out. You'll really be thinking that we dealing with some, big head, little green men type of deal, but that ain't what it is, man. See, Esau, he's dealing with the angels of Yahweh Bashman Washai, and the vehicles, which are the so-called UAPs. Those are the means to how this man is going to have his kingdom taken from him. All right, so basically, all in all, he's going to run this narrative, because they also got the Project Bluebeam as well, to where they're going to project, some false alien invasion out into the atmosphere. And in the midst of World War III, when all these nations are fighting, they all gonna turn their guns on Yahweh Shah when he come back, and that big fathership. You know what I'm saying? You can read about that in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. But they're putting this narrative out there so that the world can be against the coming of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's why they doing this, man. Because ultimately, that's the real war that they getting ready for. Okay, because they know that Yahweh Shah coming back soon. Esau know that his kingdom is done. Okay, the writing is on the wall. If the UAP proves to be of non-human origin, we may have to acknowledge the existence of a power or intelligence greater than any government and with potentially unknown intentions. Her warning comes as senior American officials have recently indicated their belief in the possibility of alien life. In a recent UFO documentary, The Age of Disclosure, 34 U.S. government insiders, including those from the military and intelligence community officials, were spoken to about an 80-year global cover-up of non-human intelligent life and a secret war among major nations to reverse engineer advanced technology of non-human origin. Right, so this is an 80-year cover-up. So really since the end of World War II, 1945, 1946, this has been classified information. All right. So again, these devils have known about this for a very long time, and now they want to give you the info. All right, but for what purpose? Okay, because you have to know that Esau, he not just going to give you nothing with no strings attached. Nah, man, this is coming with something. All right, and really what it's going to come with is a mass deception and ultimately a financial collapse behind this. All right. Hold on. It says here, the former Bank of England worker explained there might be a rush towards assets such as gold or other precious metals, which, we've been seeing that in government bonds, which are perceived as safe. Alternatively, she said precious metals might lose their status as perceived safe assets if people speculate that new spacefaring technologies will soon increase the supply of precious metals. Okay, and you got the comments here. Check this out. It says, and see, some people know, all right, what's really going on. Okay, some people have an idea, but this comment here, they're setting up the narrative for the pre-tribulation rapture, which there is no pre-tribulation rapture. And see, that's where these Christians go off, man. Okay, these Christians don't know what the hell is going on. Because if there was such a thing as a pre-tribulation rapture, you know what I'm saying, you should already be out of here. Like, you should have been gone. Because we're in tribulation right now. Look at what's going on with ICE. You know what I'm saying? Like look at what's going on with all these wars overseas, all these people losing their job, man. We're in a time of great tribulation. All right. But the thing is, we're in the beginning of sorrows, man. Like, we haven't got, that deep into it yet. But we see that things are getting worse by the day. So know that, the scriptures do not speak of a pre-tribulation rapture. That's that, Christian dogma. But reading on, it says they are going to need to explain why hundreds of millions of Christians have just vanished from the face of the earth. They will blame aliens, saying Christians were removed for the good of the planet Earth by alien intelligent beings. But you will then find yourself in the 7-year tribulation run by the Antichrist. Yo, it's funny to read these Christians' comments, man, because I'm saying they have no idea what the hell's going on. All right, they're talking about a 7-year tribulation, the Antichrist. You know what I'm saying? There is no 7-year tribulation within the scriptures, man. The scriptures speak about the hour of temptation, speaks about tribulation on the earth, but it don't tell you how long it's going to be. Okay, only the Lord knows that. Then they say the Antichrist, there's one man that's going to rise up, and you know what I'm saying? Like, look, all the devils at the WEF, all them devils at the WHO, all the devils that's in the U.S. government, the small hat government, Europe, okay? You can make a strong case that all of them are the Antichrist. You see? So which one is it? But you see, if you go about what the scriptures say, that there be many Antichrists, that there's a spirit of Antichrist, right? Because all Antichrist means is to be against the Messiah, all right? So again, if you're a Muslim, you see, if you're a Edomite Christian and you believe in white Jesus, okay, you subscribe to the belief of white angels, then guess what? You're an anti-Hamashiach, because those that worship the Heavenly Father and His Son must worship them in spirit and in truth. And see, if you're not worshiping the true Messiah, if you're not calling upon the true name, then you're an Antichrist. Okay, you're an anti-Hamashiach. Okay, so as simple as that. And you non-believers in Christ will see how dark your world really is without the church on earth. Church being people, not buildings. Okay, so they got that right. At least, you know what I'm saying? At least they understand that. But these Christians are bugged out, you know? Nothing should surprise you in the post-CV world. Prepare for the unexpected. Yeah. These people are bugged out, man. But, anyway, you see that these devils are setting it up, okay? They're getting ready to, collapse this U.S.-led, fiat currency-based world, man. And they about to move into the next phase of the agenda, which is going to be ushered in by great death, a lot of confusion, more psyops, famine, wars and all type of other stuff, man. Okay, we're in that tribulation right now. But let's go to, let's get Psalms 31, okay? Because all this nigga do is just speak lies and just push rhetoric that, really don't make no damn sense, okay? But, that's the devil for you. This is the book of Psalms 31. In verse, let's start at 15. Psalms 31 and 15 in the KJV. My times are in thy hand. Deliver me from the hand of mine enemies and from them that persecute me. Make thy face to shine upon thy servant. Save me for thy mercy's sake. Let me not be ashamed, O Lord, for I have called upon thee. Let the wicked be ashamed, and let them be silent in the grave. Let the lying lips be put to silence, which speak grievous things proudly and contemptuously against the righteous. And that's all these Edomites do, man, is just, speak grievous words, okay? Proudly and contemptuously, man. All right? If an Edomite is moving their lips, then they lying, okay? And that's all this government has been about is pushing lies and propaganda falsehoods, man. Okay? They, really they're at the forefront of this whole, so-called alien deception. But see, they're going to use it to their advantage to forward their agenda. All right? Just the same as they giving you the Epstein files now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they not giving you the Epstein files because they feel bad and they want to do the right thing. No. Because guess what? Nobody's going to jail behind these files being released, man. As a matter of fact, they trying to, cover it up now. All right? That's why they trying to give you this to take your attention away from that. You see? So nothing that these devils do is for a righteous cause, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything they do is attached to an agenda. And that's what you Israelites need to understand these last days, man. That, we dealing with the devil here, okay? Which all devil means is to be a deceiver, okay? And Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he is the devil upon the earth, okay? Ain't no doubt about it, all right? And his lying lips and his deceitful tongue has walked all throughout the earth. You see? But call all Yahweh Shai that we in a time now where this man is being revealed. And like I said before, every move that he makes works against him now. Because the narrative that he gave in the past compared to what he's doing now, all it does is expose him as untrustworthy and that he's a liar. Okay, which, that's all from Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, man. Let's go to let's get Psalm 50. I didn't want to make this lesson, too long. Psalms 50th chapter and 16. But unto the wicked Yahweh saith, what hast thou do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers. Verse 19, thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. See? Because he's going to give you these so-called UAP files as a disclosure. Oh, you know what I'm saying? We want the American people to know. Okay, when for 80 plus years, you know what I'm saying, he's denied the existence. Okay, he is not giving you the truth about it, about it, man. So all this going to do is cause people to trust him less, okay? But he's known all along, all right? That's why I say that his tongue frameth deceit, man, all right? Because this is the devil, okay? Like, if you ask Esau a straight-up question, do aliens exist, then he'll beat around the bush, okay? Because he knows the truth, you know what I'm saying? But he's not going to give it to you because... Or he won't give it to you unless he can forward some type of agenda, some type of wicked agenda, which is what this is all about. You see? So that's all these Edomites do, man. All they do is just, talk a lot of shit, just put a lot of propaganda out there and, forward their wickedness. All right, but call all Yahweh Bashmil Shah that their, time to, speak lies and deceit is near at an end. All right. Let's get Psalms 2, right? Because this is also, the reign of the Lord's anointed, right? Psalms 2 and 1, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Yeah, so the Lord is going to mock these goddamn heathen, man, once it's all said and done. All right, because here it is, they trying to set up this Project Bluebeam and trying to put out all this false propaganda so that they can justify themselves fighting against Yahweh Shai and the host of heaven when they return. Because, see, when Yahweh Shai crack them clouds, man, they going put the narrative out there of, we need to defend our planet from these foreign invaders, from these hostile foreign invaders, because they know how Yahweh Shah coming back. They know that Yahweh Shah coming back on their father's ship and the angels coming back in those so-called UAPs, man. Okay, which that's going to be the strangeness of our salvation, right, which it speaks about in the Apocrypha, right? So they know what the scriptures say, and that's why they put out the visuals in the movies. You know what I'm saying? But they twist the truth. You know what I'm saying? And they give you movies like E.T. You know what I'm saying? With some shriveled up, dried up, big head nigga, all right, that got a glowing finger, and he's just all so sweet. Nah, man, that ain't how Yahweh Shai and the angels coming back. See, they coming back to do war. Okay, that's why all these nations are preparing. They doing drills. You know what I'm saying, to prepare for the coming of Yahweh Shai, as well as for World War III, on top of everything else that they about to bring, man. So we're definitely in that time to where these heathen, they're raging, they're imagining vain things that they can overcome prophecy, that they can, finally do away with the Israelites. You know what I'm saying, that they can defeat Yahweh Shai, okay, which is complete madness. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, as it is written, that the deceived and the deceiver are his. Okay, so the Lord has these nations bugged out, you know what I'm saying, to really believe that they got a chance to fight against Yahweh Shai. Like they really believe this, man. And see, but that's good, because when Yahweh Shai come back, it tells you in 2 Ezra 13 that they were so afraid yet durst fight. So, they're going to be scared as hell, but the Lord going to put a spirit on them to fight anyway, man. All right, the Lord is going to put that spirit of delusion on them, you know what I'm saying, to really believe that they can conquer Yahweh Shai. And it's not going to happen, you know what I'm saying. They're going to fail miserably, And we can close out in Jeremiah 49. Okay, because all these devils are being exposed, man. All this is just further exposing Esau. Okay, Jeremiah 49 and verse 7. Prophecy against Edom. Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. Yeah, and that's this devil. Okay, Esau just want it all, man. Okay, you think about if a thief come and rob you, he might take the TV, he might take your jewelry, he gonna take the PS5, but they gonna take until they have enough. They not gonna take every damn thing that's inside the house. See, Esau, he the type of nigga to take the paint off the walls, man. Okay, he the type to rob you, take everything in your house, and take the paint off the walls, man. That's what type of devil that we dealing with. That's why I says if grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? Yeah, so they not gonna take every single grape. It's gonna be some grapes left on the vine, But Esau, he just come to take every damn thing. All right, that's the covetous devil that we dealing with. It's, as it says in verse 10, but I have made Esau bare, and I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Yeah, so this is a time where, Esau being exposed, and he's trying to throw distractions out there, which is what he's good for. Okay, let's get that in the NIV. Okay, Jeremiah 49 and 10. Let's start at 9. If grape pickers came to you, would they not leave a few grapes? If thieves came during the night, would they not steal only as much as they wanted? But I will strip Esau bare. I will uncover his hiding places so that he cannot conceal himself. All right. This goes into the man of sin being revealed. His armed men are destroyed, and also all Salakia. His armed men are destroyed, also his allies and neighbors, and there is no one to say, leave your fatherless children, I will keep them alive. Your widows too can depend on me. See? So Esau, he's being completely exposed. You know what I'm saying? He's everything that he's doing is just, digging himself into a deep hole he can't get out of. And see, these are the receipts, that brothers have on this devil, man. You see, because we already know what Esau going to do. We already know the playbook. We just watching these things play out. Okay, so when they make this announcement, when Trump come out and make the announcement, be prepared. Okay, be prepared for the markets to go crazy. Be prepared for things to really start turning up, man. Okay, on top of the Strait of Hormuz being partially shut down to the west, we could soon see oil prices go up even higher than what they are now. We just gotta wait and see. But we know we're in a very volatile time, and that the Lord is making things happen, for on our behalf. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out right there. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying through Rakah Kadash. Call Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect. Kwam Yashala, Wa Baba Ball. Oh, and look at this right here, right? This shows you that we in Rome all over again. Okay? Look at these buildings. See? This looks just like the front facade of Petra. Okay, showing you that we under the Edomites all over again, man. Showing you that we're under Rome. All right? So yeah, shalom.